Hello, everyone. Trudy here with Heal Wellness and Therapy and Therapeutic Yoga for your toe flexors. Really, a single yoga class for a single muscle strengthening. Why would I even consider doing that? Because your toe flexors are so essential to locomotion, also known as walking, as well as your balance. And there is not a single person that doesn't need toe flexor strengthening because we put our feet in these little tiny toe boxes and squish our toes together and weaken our toe flexors. So we are going to do the same exercise today 4 different ways. One way with no equipment whatsoever, and then 3 other ways with 3 different tools that I will put in the description below. So find yourself standing with your feet approximately hip distance apart. Line up the outside of the feet so that your feet are running parallel to one another from the outside. Then allow yourself to pick your toes up. With your toes picked up, start to rotate your feet inward and outward from the forefoot of your toes. As you do that, see if you can appreciate when the ball of the big toe touches the floor and then the ball of the little toe touches the floor. Then see if you can balance the balls of the little toes and the big toes onto the floor with your toes still lifted. Then keep the toes lifted and gently rock yourself slightly forward and slightly backward. As you do that, allow yourself to find the balance between the front of your foot, balls of your toes, and your heels. When you feel like you have equal weight in both, spread your toes nice and wide and then slowly lower your toes all the way down onto the mat. Now your feet are in a position that they are ready to strengthen the toe flexors. So where do the toe flexors sit? On the bottom of your feet. They are the toe muscles that when you push them down into the ground, they propel you forward. So keeping your body nice and still, think about pushing your toes down into the floor. As you do so, try to keep your body nice and still. Make sure that you don't feel like you're curling your toes. That's the wrong muscle. Push your toes down into the floor and then relax them completely. Now, here's something that's really interesting. When we walk, when we match our breathing pattern with pushing our toes down into the floor, our walking is the most efficient it can be. So take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, push those toes down into the floor. Inhale, relax the toes, check in that they're not curling. Exhale, push the toes down into the floor. Inhale, relax the toes. One more time. Exhale, push the toes down and into the floor. Then inhale, relax the toes and let yourself relax there. So simply working on finding the balance of your feet and then strategically focusing on pushing those toes down into the floor, you will begin to build strength in your feet, improving how you walk as well as your balance. Okay, moving on to exercise number 2, using some sort of resistance band. Now, any sort of resistance band will do. You can certainly do this exercise in sitting and or in standing. What you want to do is be able to take the resistance band and place it onto the floor. Then step the ball of your foot onto the band. Now, if you've got a wide enough band, mine is not, you may be able to get all of the balls of your toes with one single band. I'm going to focus on the big toe because I know that's the one that's most important for propulsion. Remember, that's walking as well as balance. Then allow yourself to find the balance between your left and your right feet. Take the band and let the band resist as you pull your toes up and off of the floor. Then let's match the breath to the movement. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, push your toes down into the floor against the resistance of the band. As you inhale, slowly lift the toes up with the band. Exhale, push all the way down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, pushing all the way down. Then inhale, lifting up, and exhaling, relaxing there. Doing the band on the other foot, 3 repetitions, just like I did on my right foot. Might as well match my toes so that my balance feels even. Find yourself with equal weight and equal feet. The band needs to be underneath the ball of the toe. Then use the band, use your strength of your arm, and lift the toes up off the floor. A full band, you could do all toes together. I'm doing a smaller band, so I'm focusing just on my big toe. And then it's all about matching the breath to the toes. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, push the toe down into the floor. Inhale, slowly lift it all the way up. Exhale, push that toe down into the floor. Inhale, lift the toe all the way up. And then exhale, push that toe down into the floor. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release the band. As you're using resistance like a resistance band with your toe flexors, believe me, it's not just your toe flexors that are strengthening. It's all the muscles all the way up your foot. Okay, let's move on to a yoga wedge. Now, a yoga wedge, there are actually tools out there that are just foot wedges. The benefit of a yoga wedge is you can do 2 feet at one time. Take the balls of your toes and place your balls right at the very edge of a yoga wedge. If you have a slant board, that works fantastic as well. Through research, we know the best angle of a slant board to really facilitate those toe flexors is going to be about 25 degrees of an angle. That's why a yoga wedge is so great. Once you have the balls of your toes on that yoga wedge, feet approximately hip distance apart, line up the outside of the feet with the outside of the mat, your toes are now beginning in extension. So the toe flexors are now in their lengthened range of motion. Then find the balance between right and left foot. Take an inhale. On the exhale, push the toes into the yoga wedge. Inhale, relax the toes. Exhale, push the toes into the yoga wedge. One more time. Inhale, relax the toes. Exhale, push the toes down and into the yoga wedge. And then inhale, relax the toes, and then exhale, relax. Now, if you have a single foot that's problematic and you want to really work on strengthening just that single foot, I'll oftentimes have patients using a yoga wedge, a toe wedge, or a slant board with just the single foot onto the wedge. In this position, you can engage the muscles and mimic walking all at the same time. So, for instance, if my left foot was weak, I'd have the ball of my toes onto the wedge, my right foot back behind me with my heel lifted. I'm going to take an inhale here, and then as I exhale, push my toes down and step my foot forward. Inhale, step my foot backwards. Exhale, push my toes down and step my foot forward. 3rd time's a charm. Inhale, step your foot backwards. Exhale, push your toes down and step your foot forward. Inhale, come all the way back, and exhale, relax. So important when we see those weak toes or those bunions where those big toes are going inwards to really work on strengthening the toes in a wedge position, because you can create the same environment as how your feet are performing when they're walking. Now, what if we wanted to take it a step further? A wedge is a firm cork or foam material. A slant board oftentimes is wood, so there's not really anything pushing back into your toes when you do those. Now we've got something called a toe pro. And again, remember, I will send you the description below. A toe pro is foam. And so what happens when you use a toe pro to strengthen those toe flexors, you've got the resistance, just like you would have a bicep curl resistance, the resistance into the range of motion. And it's fabulous for creating a lot of stability in your feet. You can do it a single foot or you can do it both feet. Place the balls of your toes at the edge of the toe pro. Lots of different exercises you could do with the toe pro, by the way. I'm just showing you a single one with your toe flexors. Once you have yourself in this position, allow yourself to match the outside of the feet with the angle of the toe pro. So you are a little rotated when you use that, but it encourages a little bit more of the work of your big toe in this position. Bring yourself nice and tall. Check in that you've got equal weight in both heels. Core's engaged here. And then focus on those toes. without moving your body. Take an inhale. As you exhale, push those toes down and into the foam. As you inhale, relax the toes. 2 more times. Exhale, push the toes down into the foam. Inhale, relax the toes. And final time. Exhale, push the toes down into the foam. Inhale, relax the toes, and exhale and relax. So a very different therapeutic yoga class today, teaching you how to strengthen one set of muscles in your feet that can change not only how you walk, how you balance, but how your feet feel every single day. Bring your feet hip distance apart. Bring your hands to the center of your heart. Place a big smile onto your face. Take a deep inhale in and exhaling out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. Thank you for joining me today. And if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a great day.